What's up, everybody? FSC Trucking. Just pulled up in the Hemi Dually. You gotta go and get Orwell loaded up today. Good thing Orwell's inside because the weather outside's pretty nasty and just yucky. It ain't really all that cold. I'm surprised it's actually snowing. It's right around like that 30, 31 degree mark-ish, somewhere around there. But we're gonna get ahead and get Orwell fired up, get him hooked up to the RGN, and roll out to Sheboygan. We gotta go pick up a generator. Meanwhile, Chris is over here steadily working on a 359 Peterbilt for a customer, replacing the front springs on it at this point. I actually just got a call from Truck Equipment. The parts came in for the rear wheel studs, so that way later on, probably tomorrow, Chris can get ahead and start putting that together. Not 100% whether I'm just loading and coming back, or whether I'm loading and turning and burning, not really sure yet, but either way, that's kind of what's going on. So a really fast overview, this is an 83, and it's been modified quite a few many times over the course of the years. The current owner wanted us, like I said, to replace the rear wheel studs. They were too short. The drums he's got on there now are not the old centrifuge that they had, which are like real thin and made of steel. These are iron, they're thicker, so the studs are not long enough. That's what we're waiting to replace that. We had enough to do one side, but I never got the axle gasket, so that's got to be put back together. The other three wheel positions still waiting to be done. Somebody installed extra leafs on the front of this truck. Factory, this is supposed to have 4 leafs, not 6. So it rides real rough. Not to mention, the tires are not the size that the truck factory came with. So he did ask me to get a price on new tires for him to get the size to where the truck was factory. So this is the one spring on this side. Obviously, the heat wrench being used to take the U-bolts off. That's the preferred method of wrenching around here. And as you can see, quite effective. There's the passenger side already done up. Pretty much looking like ready to go. On this side anyway. All right, enough yapping. Let's get this big girl fired up and on out the door, get this day going. Because this is gonna be one of those days, I just feel it. embarrassing if I forgot to take my breakdown board with me. Might not have needed it. I'll leave the axles locked in until we get on the actual road. Called an interaxle lock, commonly known as a power divider. What it does is it locks the two differentials together. Real loosely figured is the power divider works like 3 open diffs, not 2, because there's 2 differentials. It's like there's a third. With the power divider not locked in like it is right now, power is only placed to one wheel. Whichever one spins, whichever one gets better traction, or less traction, I should say, is the one the power goes to, of the 4. When you lock it in, you're isolating 2 axles, so you're locking that shaft from the drive shaft that goes through the forward diff, you're locking it together, so the through shaft, the one that comes out the forward diff, input shaft to the rear diff, it locks that short drive shaft to the main drive shaft. That way it's 2 separate independent differentials now, not a third to divide the power amongst the 4 wheels. You want that for traction. Kind of like putting in 4-wheel drive, except it doesn't have lockers. So at that point, it's only pushing on 2 wheel ends, not just 1. But it adds that extra traction. This snow, it's not deep. I came up with the Hemi dually, and they didn't plow when I came up, but they ran the plow since I came through, I think. But it's still a little thick and we're light, so we gotta watch the speed, because the deeper snow can hit you a little bit here and there. Obviously it's not a main road. This actually is just a county road. It's not even a state road. We won't be on the state road till we get into town. So we're gonna run 55 straight down to 10, cut 10 across towards Sheboygan. Or actually, basically, we're gonna go through Chilton and then into Sheboygan that way. 10, cut over to 36, take that south. I forget the name of the road, but bust over to Sheboygan and get loaded. Then I believe we go to the yard. That leaves us with an open top deck. So that's why I'm thinking we might just get loaded and leave. We might load and come back home, not sure. I would like to have the trailer full when we leave. So would they. A few videos back, people were leaving comments about driving through the lake effect snow in New York. Too fast for conditions is only known when you wreck. If you're too fast for conditions and you don't wreck or cause a wreck, then you weren't too fast for conditions. You only know once you mess up, right? Like, obviously I wasn't driving too fast between the yard to here, but if I wreck from here to, say, the next stop sign, then I was going too fast. But if I don't, then I wasn't going too fast. So a lot of people think they know better, but this truck was an absolute handful with the old drives that was on there. They were unavailable to buy, the Michelin, so I had to put steer tires on it whenever I had a tire go out from road damage. They were getting down there. They were still legal when we pulled them off, but they were getting down there pretty bad. So I decided before it actually snowed good to put brand new drives on this thing, which we did. So I got brand new tires, so you got pretty good grippy knobs on there, so she's got good traction. But right now we're empty, so traction ain't, it's not really any good when traction would be good. I don't have any, I don't have much right now. And if I had the old drives, it'd be even worse. long story short, my point is, when you're driving in the snow, you got to drive to your truck's ability and your ability. You can have an awesome setup truck that does phenomenal in the snow, but if you have no driving skills, you're gonna struggle and possibly wreck. You could have a really crappy truck that's set up real bad, you know, ball tires and all that, and really good driving skills, and you're gonna struggle. You probably be okay because you got the skills to know better, but you're gonna struggle. What's best is if you have the skills and the truck. If you have a good truck underneath you with good tires and driving skills, you'll be fine. But that doesn't take account for other people that goes by, because you don't know if they'll lose it and put it into you or in front of you or even T-bone you. You just never know. So you gotta watch, but it's skills that get you out of trouble. And I'm not one to brag about driving skills or snow driving skills, but I was the kind of guy that my dad took me when I was a kid to parking lots with cars and told me how to slide them around turns. You know, doing donuts with a two-wheel drive Suburban with a locker for a diff. My mom's Datsun 79 B210 with a stick shift. Learning how to do, I had an open diff, but learning how to do donuts with that, and then learning how to stop them and slide them, and how you can turn using your throttle. How you can, if you stomp on the brakes and turn the steering wheel, nothing happens. You have to have the wheels turning in order to have steering control. He taught me that when I was a kid. That stuff my son Matthew learned with a go-kart in dirt at my old shop, my first shop that I had up here in Wisconsin. When he was young, he would drift that go-kart around real good. That's how he learned how to do it. Of course, my sons all were driving in snow and bad weather, good weather. They drove in it all. But that's how I was taught. But some guys didn't have that opportunity. It's just the way it is. You'd be better off if you did. So if you got kids, put them in a vehicle in some parking lots where it's safe and make them start driving. If they're on their learner's permit, they need to be driving in this nonsense. The state you live in might not allow it, but as far as I'm concerned, they need to do it under a controlled environment. That way they learn it, they practice it. Otherwise they get out in this crap and they don't know what to do, and you panic and freak out. My son was driving on a learner, both of them were driving on learner's permits in the snow. In truth, I don't know if that was okay, and I really didn't give a rip if it was. We did it, and they're phenomenal drivers in the snow. So I did my job for society, whether society liked it or not. We did it, and society's better for it. I'm not the most experienced snow driver out here, but I've been out here going on 26 years now. And growing up in Jersey, we had enough snow when I was a kid to learn how to do it. So, but I still remember the very first time I ever drove a semi-truck in the snow. It was an interesting experience, but I learned a lot. And I still remember where I went and what I was doing. In fact, I remember I was getting in, after I unloaded, I was hauling a pneumatic bulk tanker, hauling cement out of the Allenton, Easton, Pennsylvania area. I took it out to Harrison, New Jersey. I don't remember the name of the place, but it was in Harrison, New Jersey. We used to deliver there pretty often. And getting in my truck, I slipped and fell right off the steps. Car's a little forward. I slipped and fell on my steps getting in the truck, and my butt bounced off the steps. It was a day cab Freightliner. I hit the first step, that didn't hurt, but my feet kicked out in the snow, and then I hit hard right on the ground, and my tailbone hit hard, and oh man, it hurt. I didn't break it, but it was sore for a while. And I had to drive home in that nonsense. It was the trip home, empty, with an aluminum tanker, aluminum bulk tanker. They weigh almost nothing. They're literally like bobtailing at that point. Hammered down. I'm not gonna lie, if I have a vehicle capable, I do it. Again, is he going too fast for conditions? Well, if he winds up in the ditch, the answer is yes. If he doesn't, the answer is no. He has enough vehicle and enough skill. Does that rub people the wrong way? Of course it does. Everything I say rubs somebody the wrong way. That's why there's a comment section. As long as he don't pile into me, I really don't give a rip. If he puts her off in the ditch, I'll just wave as I drive by and hope, like that Big Smo song, I don't wind up in the ditch and they pass me up waving. Stranger things have happened. Look at this Pete coming out. He's local. I see him around all the time. It's a beautiful truck. I keep looking at that truck and other trucks. There's two of them that run around that look similar. One pulls a tanker, the other one, I think, a flatbed, but he changes it up, I think. I often wonder if that's my old 379. That truck, supposedly the guy bought it was going to take the sleeper off, shorten the frame, rebuild the engine, and run, the farmer, run poop with it, liquid poop. They spray it in the fields. I don't know whatever happened to that truck. I seen it one time going down the road because it still had my truck number on it, still had my old stacks on it, and the sleeper was missing because it had a day cab kit on the back. I remember seeing it once and then never saw it again. So it's possible that truck got painted, but it was a 99. It was an ultra cab. And I used to remember the VIN number. 475116 was its VIN. That was my old truck. I missed that sucker. If I had the money and knew where it was, I'd buy it back. But in truth, I'd be better off buying another one and then making that one into what mine used to be. That steak body truck laid way back for me. And I appreciate it. Thank you, brother. Someone's still welding on the door. I didn't see the whole thing. I just seen this weld shop. Behind today. I had to get up, run a bunch of errands. First errand was I had to go to the bank. The bank didn't open till 8 o'clock, so I had to sit at the and it was only the drive-through. So I had to squeeze the dually through the drive-through, which it does fit, but it's tight. Squeeze the dually through the drive-through, wait for them to open 8 o'clock, take care of that. Then I had to go run a couple things. Then I had to go to the shop. So that's why I was kind of quick. Didn't really get to talk about what's going on in the shop. Then in the middle of all that, I got a phone call for truck equipment. I think I mentioned that earlier, that the parts had come in. So it's supposed to be in Kohler at 10 o'clock. I'm not going to make it no 10 o'clock. I had errands to run. It would have been all right if the weather wasn't there, but everything slowed me up because of the snow. It is what it is. It should still load me. It just might be a little pushed back a little, but if you think in this weather I'm the only one late, you're nuts. At least the main drag, they obviously threw salt on it, so it should be an easy ride then. The storm is mostly north. It kind of cut across the state. So down at the Whitmire yard, there's nothing. It should have been just rain or nothing at all. I think the further north you go, the worse it was. But it's Wisconsin and it's January, so what do you expect? I did forget to mention, we got in Friday night after running them dual loads. Took dual loads from Manitowoc down to Waukesha, two local, you know, basically up and back twice. Did that. It got back Friday night. It was kind of, not real late, but late enough. Chris came in for me on Saturday, did a service on Orwell real quick. So had to work Saturday. But that's how it goes, you know. Truck was gone all week, running Friday. That was the only day available was Saturday. So I called Chris. I'm like, hey, you want to do some overtime? He's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, well, it don't have to be Saturday. Just ask me sometime between now and Monday morning. He's like, I'll be in Saturday. All right, cool. Told me what time. Met him there. Got work done. So this morning, bright and early, came in, started on the 359 Pete. When we get done with that, we'll move on to Elaine.